Hey guys, back in action today. Gonna be doing some PvP. I'm gonna go over my team after this. Um, it's gonna be an extremely low to no set gear uh, team. Um, I'm kind of doing this on request uh, to do something because people just have this idea that just having the sets is all you need. I would argue that good potentials sold across the board are a lot more influential than just flat, straight up awesome set gear. Because a lot of those things are taking things from your natural stats, which you're going to benefit most from your set gear. So it's to me, it seems like something pretty natural. The set gear advantages and bonuses are like, I'm not trying to put them down. They're definitely pretty damn amazing. It's just that I don't want people to have this idea that they can't compete with people who have set advantages. Generally, the best set pieces in the game have pretty restrictive effects on them. For example, only working for the first two turns would be one that people are pretty familiar with. So in this next strain of videos, I don't know if I'm going to do this because I don't want to waste a whole week of not getting rank 1. But we're going to be using this team and just trying to get all the way through. There's a couple of little things I do want to try too with aggro. I want to see if maybe on the square map if I can incorporate a healer, or if the healer is really viable all the way throughout. I kind of want to see if I can have an invincible bearman chain going, where I just have everybody in a big area and there's nothing they can do about it. Gonna do a quick plug for Reddit. If you guys want to have some clear understanding of how the damage calculations are done on Reddit, there is a thread that posts all the advantages and disadvantages of a lot of them. I want to correct myself on one thing: that damage percent is more beneficial than attack percent. But in terms of being impactful, percent of HP to attack is probably the one that's going to reflect the most in your overall stats. In terms of beneficiality. For example, if you had 10,000 base attack and you had plus 2.5% modifier and plus 4% damage modifier, because generally the damage modifier is higher than the attack modifier, because all the calculations going through are all based on multiplication, for like even including defense reduction, then the higher number is always going to be better. And you might think, well, attack goes into the skill attack formula. So it's kind of like you get to account the attack percent increase twice. So isn't it more beneficial than the damage? So, well, it doesn't work like that, because the damage is calculated whether you do the defense later at the end of the calculation, so it's the leftover damage after the defense that gets the buff from the defense, or after it, because everything is based off percent and multiplication, then it's pretty linear all the way through, so it's always the same no matter what. So the higher number is always going to be more beneficial. Also, your skill damage gets calculated before the damage percent damage, not the other way around. So your attack multiplier working twice for your skill, it does the same thing basically for your percent damage. If you don't believe it, then just try it out on a notepad with your calculator open yourself. Just make up random numbers, maybe easy ones to work with if you want to try and do it in your head. And no matter how many times you do multiplication, whatever you want to throw in for the opponent's defense and different things like that, it's not going to be higher. So damage percent is definitely better than attack percent. It's just if you have the high attack percent, then it gives you a nicer, higher number to look at for your hero. However, in terms of impactful stats, percentage of attack to HP, percentage of HP to attack is definitely the most influential stat. For example, if I have, we'll just take a look at one of my characters here. We're going to look at Chenny. You know what? Let's look at Bearman, actually, because he's a monster of HP. So I have 103,500 HP on Bearman. And his, let's see, I don't have any percent of HP to attack gain on this particular gear yet. Let's go all the way through here. All right, so 0.9. All right, so now it's 2.5. 4.1. And that makes 6.8. All right, so 6.8% of my, it comes off the total amount of HP. So there's no other modifiers that are involved. After all my HP percent modifiers are added on, which is like I had already assumed before, it takes the total amount. So the calculations for different types of stats are done separately. But if it's to calculate damage, for example, everything is calculated in one straight formula. So attack percentage potentials plus attack percentage from your B strain set, for example, would be in the same realm. They're the exact same thing. Which it's a little bit confusing on some pieces of gear. The omniscient and omnipotent set, for example, increase your damage. It says your attack damage instead of attack or damage by 15%. So I don't know if it's a flat attack buff or if it's an attack and a damage buff at the same time, or if it's just damage. I really don't know. So a little bit curious as to how that one works, but I don't have it, so I can't test it out. All right, so anyway, what is the number I came up with? Should have to do this again. Oh man, if only I had rewind in my brain. But I have 103,550 HP. So my percentage, let's say it was 6.8 or something like that. I think that's actually relatively close to what it actually is. But it would be, let's say I had 100,000 HP, I would gain 6,800 attack for that, which adds up huge. Like 7,000, like out of 25,000 attacks, 7,000 of my attack is just from something that I have on an earring, for example, as opposed to on an actual weapon. It makes up for at least a third. Generally, if you have good potentials all the way through, like I'm missing one on my first slot gear, so that's another 0.5% or so that I can get. I think 0.6, 0.7 is around pink for slot 1. But it does add up. Let's look at character, maybe Chenny. I think she's going to have probably some of my best stuff. All right, so that's 0.6. That's 0.9. Who's got the best in this one? All right, well, don't have amazing ones on my Dasso sets. All right, 0.6 and 0.9 is 1.5. 2.7. Or 0.5. And that makes 7.6. All right, so 7.6% of my 81,457 health. So that turns out to be what is, oh shit, I can't even remember. I'm not even going to do this. Anyway, it works out to be a huge amount of damage that gets put in. And then your damage percentage, what's nice about damage percentage, because the attack everything is in the multiplier, your damage percentage compounds with those effects. Because they're separate. Like one calculates just HP to your attack, which puts your attack into the formula for the overall damage, and then your damage percent goes on top of it and compounds with it. So if you get like 8,000 or 9,000 attack from your convert HP percent to attack potentials, and then you have 25% in damage increase, you're getting another 25% of total benefit from that. Now, what's also nice is decent skills, like on Chenny, her third skill is 199% attack. So I'm just gonna do 200 for whatever. So basically double that amount. So say you get 7,000 for accessories, then double that, and then you have 14,000, and then you have your damage potentials that compound on top of that. So let's say you have 25% in damage potentials. Now you get another 3,500. So now that's losing myself. That's another 17,500 damage just from like a couple small things for having like of overall damage, not your attack numbers, things like that, but in your base stats. But these potentials have pretty overwhelming results when you are able to combine them together efficiently. So just wanted to bring attention to that. If you want any more information, there is a thread on Reddit with all the damage calculations on it for the game. It also explains how crit works and the little things like that. I think he's going to work on a defense section, but there's really not much to say there. But he does, I believe, have all the potentials listed. There's a lot of really good information and charts and stuff up on Reddit, so give it a look if you haven't. Anyway, I find it too expensive to take all this stuff off and use my main party for PvP. So, what we're going to do is take the same ideas and theories based off how to efficiently build a team, and we're going to transfer them into tier 2 characters, and I'm going to run with a tier 2 character list with little to no sets. If I do have sets on them, they're going to be ones that are very influential, and I'll take off certain pieces to make it easier to say that it's really I'm just using it because I have really good potentials on the thing, and I don't want to have to trade off for another piece of gear and make another piece of gear. But I'm not going to take all the stuff off my Chenny and then not be able to do dimensional breakthrough efficiently for a week just to prove a point on Reddit. So that's not going to happen. Hopefully this is beneficial for some people who are free to play, who just wonder if they can even ever compete without having equipment. What we're going to do is over the next 3 or 4 days, I might cop out on the last day trying to get rank 1, but we're gonna try and keep a top 10 spot. That's the goal. Like that, it'd be pretty awesome to be able to keep a top 10 spot, because a lot of the people that are in the top 10 are really changing and adapting their formations to things that are actually very, very, very reasonable and smart, as opposed to what it used to be, where people were just generally rich and used whatever they felt like. Like as the game gets older, I think things are going to get more refined, so the teams are going to get harder, and even free to play players are getting really good stuff. There's a person, he's not free to play, his name's Crowhex, but he got a Pathfinder set from his Tower of Dawn rewards. So I'm really jelly about that, but let's take a look at how I'm going to be doing this. So I will not be using Serenity, it's too expensive to ungear her. I will not be using Kai, it's too expensive to ungear him. You might be able to argue with this. Kai is only really strong. If I take off his Dasometer set, for example, he's only really overpowered with sets if he's the last man standing. So I thought about maybe just taking the Dasometer set off of Kai for the week, because it is new and it's not going to cost me much. I think it's just 10 per piece. I got that right? Yeah, because this is all new stuff, so it wouldn't be that much of a pain in the ass to take it off if I really want to use Kai. But I don't think I'm going to use Kai. I want to kind of experiment with kind of weaker heroes, and just sort of make people sort of see and realize that they can make other things work. They're not going to be, like, I'm not going to go in and one shot the whole team without Kai. In my opinion, I don't think that's what's going to happen with my slot 3 hero. But we'll deal with it in other ways. I think Kai is super, super broken, and his armor ignore is no matter what level you're at, is pretty like obscene. But we're not going to be using him. Plus, I also run the chance that Kai is the last one left standing, and if he is, then I've got the Gold Tiger and the Desperado set. So if there's any really close fights, then I could definitely use Kai as a backup plan and just deliberately make him survive last, and then he just goes and one-shots the whole team. So I don't want to have any kind of things that seem like I'm taking advantage of the set gears. I want it to be more based purely off of tactics and just good formations, to kind of reinforce some of the other things I've been saying, because I've definitely gotten more pay to win ever since about the 15th of December. Now the thing is, I don't really have very much proof that I was able to hold the top 1 or top 10 spot for the 2 to 3 weeks prior to the 15th, unless anybody is willing to vouch that they saw my name up there in the top 10 before that time, because I didn't really have money to throw around until that point. So I was more of a casual player. I had spent a bit of money, but like I'm now obviously looking at my sets, you could see the huge difference. Like my Dacimeter sets are all brand new since the last Black Cap event. I got 6 pieces of Pathfinder, but 3 of them are accessories to it, so I don't have an extra pair of boots for Kai. I really, really want that pair of boots, but it's just not worth. Like when you think about it, how hard it might be to get that one piece. I'm thinking about Aaron Sun's rolls and rolls and rolls to get his Eldrika Trinity set pieces. Like it was kind of like a joke for us in chat one. Hey Aaron, did you get your Eldrika's weapon yet? Because he had the armor piece and the accessory for his Chris and his Jack. And he was just buying every day or rolling every day. He probably would go like maybe 10 pieces or whatever. I don't know how he was doing or how he was spending or anything like that. But it was just pretty common to see him just throughout this last event. Nope, no luck for me today, no luck for me today. And he even told me he had 2 or 3 extra pieces of each of the pieces that he already had, and he still hadn't gotten one weapon. He did end up getting 2 weapons for both his Chris and his Jack, so congrats to him. But I don't want to go through that for a pair of boots. The most expensive piece of equipment I've ever had in a video game was a pair of 12 attack face stompers in Maple Story 7 years ago. And those were worth like 700 American, but you know, I hope that I'm not going to make this game Maple Story for me. That was a bad time when I lived at home with parents and had no real bills and stuff. Not going to be using Serenity, even though she's amazing. Unfortunately, this would be expensive takeoff. It's not going to happen at all. I may keep Bearman as a regular. There's a lot of things I do want to try. He does have 2 sets, and just so we're all clear here, these sets are aggro and HP to all allies. Combined together, they give a total of 4,000 HP to all allies. For the most part, I'm using it for the aggro, so if people feel like the 4,000 HP at this level where I'm having characters in the hundreds of thousands of HP, of course, generally my heroes that I'm going to be using are going to be having 60 or 70,000 HP. Or you know what? I'm going to use Deb, Carrot, and and Moo right now. I'm also going to have Jenny as an alternate, and if I get Kung Fu Girl Tao up really soon, I think I might try experimenting with Tao and Jack and Moss. I'm really kind of hoping that something can work with Moss. I kind of feel that he would be decent in the 3rd slot. For a healer to be in the 3rd slot, I think it makes sense. I just don't have really a great way of making it work. I know that Blue Sapphire runs tank 1st slot, healer 4th slot, but I just don't think that is just really the greatest way to arrange things. Also, it's kind of pointless to mimic what he's doing in this video or these chains of videos, because we're trying to post, can you do everything that people with insane sets do without sets? Or the real question, how dumb really is the AI? Are you able to just do that with, outdo it with good tactics if people have really, really broken stuff? Aaron Sun's probably going to be a really tough beat because he does have 2 Eldrika's Trinity sets, so he's got 2 heroes that have over 100,000 health. He's also got 2 Ghost Step sets on his attackers. So he's going to be a pretty tough beat if I can even do it. But we're not really going to be aiming for 1st place with this party. We're going to be aiming for somewhere in the top 10. Now, if I can get top 10 with this party or with the little alterations, one thing I'm saying right now, I am raising Tao more for a PvE type thing, and I do have a couple sets on her. Oh, actually, I got a few sets on her. 2 pieces, and of course, with all my 4-star pulls, I'm literally drowning in Persona sets. So if I did raise her, I would keep her because I got amazing potentials on this character. She's pretty good. I wouldn't give 2 craps about this set. The set gear, 7% attack, 800 crit rate. That's really good. It's it's no Ghost Step set, and it's definitely no Pathfinder, but it's good. Like, it's not like it's some crappy little effect. I think 7% attack is really cool, seeing as how my potential is actually 7% attack on this. So it's like having a 14% attack potential. That's kind of cool. Plus the crit rate is always great. Another 8% crit rate. This Tau right now is a monster. She's going to be part of my boss killer team. But maybe I'll try her out in PvP in slot 1. See how that works out. I don't have high hopes, seeing as how most people in slot 1 are going to be Jack. All right. But anyway, back to the team. Bearman, if you guys think that the extra 4,000 HP is just too broken, I am going to be stubborn and say that I want to keep the aggro sets. Just because I think that's just what a tank needs to be for. I want to try a few things also to see if there's... I'm going to be doing some experimenting for myself. It's not just like a grudge video for flamers on Reddit. It's going to be some experimenting and some testing too. So I'm going to really need the aggro from these two sets. I really don't care if you want me to take off one piece of each one. I'll take off the one that has the least beneficial potentials for me, to be honest. Probably that one. I'd switch it for hopefully somebody who doesn't have just pink things. Sets I will be using, just straight up, are this Lava Chaser set, because I've unequipped it 3 times, and I'm not doing it again just for the sake of the video, so Carrot can have 1 extra movement. I would really, really, really rather have the 1 extra movement on Moo, for obvious reasons, because she's only got 4 movement. She can't go and stun her first opponent in the 4-lane map right away, but I'm just gonna live with that. She's still great because she's got the swamp advantage terrain, so she can walk around freely in the ice map. But really, really, really am tempted just to take it off and put it on Moo, but whatever, we're going to use it on Carrot. Carrot actually really just doesn't need it at all. She's perfectly fine with her 4 movement in the places that she's going to be in all the PvP maps, so I more or less actually had this because I needed Carrot in a couple PvE maps, and I just really wanted to have the extra 1 movement on her because I didn't have anywhere else to put it. I really should have put it on Moo way back when and made some BS excuse up for why I needed it on Moo right now. I've had this set that I got just from opening caps a really, really long time ago. If you want me to take this off for the 1,000 attack, I'll do that, and I'll find some... I'll probably just like this. This is a very bad piece, just potential-wise, and I'm not investing in Carrot. I could probably make up for the difference by swapping with gear from characters I won't be using for this video. Like, she could probably definitely use more HP and defense instead of dodge, so maybe I'd take Chris's chest pieces and her accessory piece if it wasn't too expensive. Or maybe I'd look for something else, because I've got some pretty badass potentials on some of my 3-star gear. So if you want me to switch that, then that's cool. I'll find some extra pieces to switch around. I still want to keep things kind of maximized for potentials on the other end, as opposed to sets straight up. But up for, just wanted to like put this out here, like up for grabs for me to take off if you really think that they're unfair. The ones I'm going to be starting off with are Bearman, Deb, Moo, and Carrot. I might also be using Junny. So I'm willing to take 1 piece off of each of the aggro sets to lose the 4,000 HP for each character. I'm not willing to take off anything from Deb because I already have. I took 1 of these pieces off Deb just because I didn't want her final skill power by 750 effect. But I really couldn't find a better accessory. Like, I've taken this piece off. I think I've taken this off a few times. No, just 1 time. Alright, but I really haven't found a better accessory that can go there. That's not something that also costs money to take off and equip and whatever. I did take off her chest piece, so she wouldn't get the full benefit of the set. And I put on another chest piece that just had, I think, better... Yeah, it's got a better HP potential. I don't think it's better across the board. No, I'd rather have the extra dodge and the damage taken. Yeah, counter rate's useless, and flat amounts of HP are useless too, and it's a lower recovery rate. But I'm definitely keeping this weapon. Look at the monster potentials on this thing. Anyway, it's very unlikely that her MP is going to fall below 40% in a PvP match. I would have to use her third skill with her passive regen like 4 times to even get into that, and then I wouldn't have enough to use my fourth skill. But this just gives her MP, and this gives her 1500 defense. So that's a little bit much. If you want me to switch out this one, I might not be opposed to it. Just let me, oops. Let me, 10. Alright, so if I could find a better piece for the chest piece, or the, because I would rather have a chest piece instead of a dodge piece. The only reason I kept this on her so far is because the set gives her 1500 defense. Now, it does only activate if her HP falls below 50%, so it really only works half the time. So this is just, imagine this as 750 defense, not 1500 defense. But it's up to you to perceive how you want it. If you think it's unfair, then I will take one of the pieces off and swap it with the chest piece, or maybe I'll just put one of these on because it's not going to stack and turn the effect on. That's actually a nice piece too. But it is a shield, so that stinks. Whatever, I'll find something. For Carrot, like I said, I'm not completely opposed to taking this hat off. Pretty sure, yeah, it's cheap. I'll take that hat off if you feel it's if it's too strong, and I'll find something else. I don't know if I want to stick with dodge for Carrot or not, or if I want to just go straight sweet chest pieces all across the board. Because I got more chest pieces lying around. It's just going to be hard to find one with good potential that I like. Maybe I'll just raise boots and stack dodge on her. Let's see, what do we have here? This is just way back whenever, my very first pulls with 4 stars ever, where I wasn't buying tons, whatever. I didn't have enough armor pieces, so I just equipped these because I was never going for a dimensional breakthrough team. It's just, this is what I, by unfortunate circumstances, got in my inventory. I didn't have any other armor pieces. I got 2 of them actually. That's why I have one on Momo too. But I don't really use Momo or Carrot nowadays, so that's why I just haven't removed them. They're not doing anything, so just see that as a regular piece. Nothing there. If I do 5-star Tau, like I said, I'll probably keep her the way she is, though she is pretty set OP. Well, she's got very minor sets, but like they're good. They're all the ones that are for, well, this one's for Scissor, but it has the same stats as ones that are for attack type characters. Attack and crit rate. Well, this is nice in percent. I think this, I only have 2 pieces of it, but didn't want to waste 2 pieces. I was building it. It's got really good potentials on it too. That actually can change if I can get. I'm not opposed to taking this one off if I do end up using her, and I'll just raise a new weapon or maybe find something better. That actually might be a good piece for the critical damage. Anyway, if you notice anything that you think is a little bit too unfair, post it in the comments below, and I'll address it. So we're going to go over the party real quick. Bearman's going to be the slot 4 tank. Take good looks at the equipment. Deborah is going to be our slot 1 damage dealer. I might also be switching her around with Moo, based off my mood. Carrot's going to be our slot 2 utility and DPS. Her utility is going to be damage reduction and crit rate reduction. A lot of people sometimes overlook the crit rate, but it's there and it's pretty awesome. Carrot, like I said, I don't want to take off my Lava Chaser set because I've already done it twice. I don't want to do it again. But I'm fine if I have to take off one of my pieces to my 3rd set if you really feel it's important for the video. I honestly don't think the 1,000 attack out of 25,000 attack is really all that impactful, but some people disagree. So if you want me to take that off, then I'll take it off. I'm not going to be using Momo at all, just because I think one of the advantages that free-to-play people are going to have to go stick with if they're going to be using a team of tier 2 heroes, is there's going to be a lot of papers available. At least in my opinion, on tier 2 heroes, there's a lot of papers more available. And if rock is one of the strongest types, it kind of makes the tier 2 characters more viable because paper obviously is strong against rock. I don't think I'll use Chris, but obviously you can see here set-wise, she's got that cool first piece there for the 4%. This gives another 4% HP for the set effects. And I'm not going to be moving that all over the place. I don't know if, like, in the future I want to move it to Moo, or if I want to wait for better paper here before I take it off her at all. It's just on here because I thought I might still use Chris here and there, but I really have no interest in using her. I have so little interest in using her that I have this weapon and I don't want to put this weapon on it and raise it up just because it'd be a waste of money right now. I got way too many things to spend money on. I've got enough stuff to spend money on for like 2-3 months worth of dimensional breakthroughs, so I don't want to invest in things I don't really have to. Moo's definitely going to be on the team. I do have Water Walk with her, and I don't want to take these off. I got great potentials on them, and I'm not taking them off no matter what. If you think that the Water Walk, it literally helps me in one square in the ice map, and if you think that that is game breaking for a set that most people actually will call the Wild Chaser probably the worst set in the game, but if you want to say that that's just too overpowered yourself, then go ahead. But the thing is, I feel like I'm entitled to at least 2 sets. We have had 2 Tower of Dawns. The sets that I have gotten from the Tower of Dawn, I'm going to be keeping completely out of question here. I got this set from my first Tower of Dawn, and my second set I don't have equipped. I got the Space Drill, whatever set. So those are the 2 sets I've got from Tower. Anyway, we're going to do a few more PvPs just to make the video less boring, less dry. Well, let me know what you think about the challenge in the comments down below. Maybe put some bets down on where you think I'm going to end up placing by probably midday Sunday, where things are actually getting somewhat serious for final rankings. Let me know how you think I'm doing, where I can improve, or I didn't want to use Mo, or if you think this is just a waste of time and I should just go back to using broken heroes and do it easy wins all the time. I really hope that some people that are more free to play are going to be able to benefit from this a lot. Just going to take a quick look at a couple things because I know I don't have max potentials on a lot of the characters I don't use. Maybe we wanted to change some of these attack potentials to hit rate or crit rate. I don't think Moon needs the crit rate because her third skill is broken. I do have her maxed, so using the skill gives her 78% more crit for the next turn, and as you can see, that gives me 100% crit rate. Okay. Maybe a little bit more hit rate just in case we run into ghost step characters. Okay. Jenny, I'm gonna have to save up for tomorrow. I don't like blowing crystals on the mana compactor, but I could do that 5 times if I really want to. But I don't think it'd be worthwhile. I want to have enough to actually roll through. I really wish those attack potentials weren't orange. I think that they're actually just not. I think it would be way better to have crit rate, gray crit rate than these orange attack potentials. But I just don't feel like doing it. Feels like a waste to do it. I guess that's fine. I'm going to have to get her when she comes up. Alright, looks like all the characters that I'm planning to use have decent potentials on them. So let's get into it. Jenny was a superhero in today, again, in Dimensional Breakthrough. Another sweet-ass solo for Jenny. It's actually to the point now where, like, I've been doing it enough times that there's a lot of cool tricks that you can do on some of the maps. I don't know if I should make a tips and tricks video for superhero Jennies that have overpowered solo last man standing sets and ghost step sets. But there's a lot of really cool things that you can do on some of the maps. like the map with the 4 sigils on it right in the center. It's like a desert map and it's got 4 sigils right in the middle. You could run basically, like, if you could only kill 3 people on the team, then you'd leave somebody like Jack alive, because he's a melee unit, and then he'll go and run to all the sigils, and you can like go to different parts of the sigils that he's triggered as soon as he's out of range, and you could proc them yourself, and then he kind of keeps running around in a little circle, and you get like 20 attacks off on him before he can do anything. So I'll just use Chenny and use her auto attack to store up mana if I run into that stage, and I'll just kill Jack with auto attacks. It's pretty funny. Darn. I want to do this attack, but I think it would be a bad idea. How strong are you? 59% defense. Alright. Whatever. Let's go for it. A lot of the people don't really understand the way that your battle score percent works. Set pieces actually do not influence it all that much. It's more about your potentials that gain impactful stats than it is about having, aggro at work right there, than it is about having, where's Carrot? I think I'm fine here. Than it is about having just gear on in general. Because if you don't have those vanilla potentials, then you're not going to be able to get impactful stats. It's not always sets that make the characters really, really, really broken. Sometimes it's better to just have good, solid gear with good potentials instead. Man, I would really love a Serenity right now. Gonna get some heals on here. Maybe it is OP for me to walk on water. Alright, let's put Bearman there to soak up all the attacks. Or be a perfect position to get the rest of my team hit. And we should clean this up here. It'll be nice to be able to compete with some teams that are in the 90,000s, because generally people who have the money to have a 90k battle score team are full of set gear. Just completely full of set gear. So those are going to be some really tough ones. I think a lot of the 80s will be able to clean up pretty nicely, though a lot of the even some of the people in the high 70s, low 80s, it's pretty hit or miss. I find that there's some people in the high 70s who can even compete with me with my really broken gear on my main characters, my tier 1 choice characters, and it's just hit or miss. You never know when you kill a bunch of people's characters if the last Jack standing, for example, has a tiger set, or like there are a lot of people who have spent good money, not insane money, but good money, and they have good stuff. As time goes on, though, I do expect to see things changing a little bit in that respect, because a lot of people are going to be ranking up who have very little money, getting to the 5-star. They're going to be able to gear all their characters, and their characters are going to have the potentials, and their potentials are not going to be optimized quite yet. So they're just actually going to have a seemingly strong looking team based off their battle score, but it's really not accurate to how strong a person is. So a lot of these fights are going to seem really, really one-sided, because like I'm fighting people with 10,000 less attack than me right now, for example. So they're easy cleanups, even with these tier 2 characters that I have just really good potentials on. So hopefully we can run into some really strong people here. It'd be kind of boring without. Maybe I'll reset after this battle. Just because you have way stronger heroes doesn't mean you have to do dumb things either. I always try to make generally good decisions. The goal is to always finish every map with full team. That was, for example, a bad decision. But Bearman's here to soak up the hits. Oh, come on, Bearman. Where's that aggro stat? Yeah, when a Deb can't kill a Moo, you know that things are pretty unbalanced. I guess the next thread's going to have to say something like my potentials are too OP. And I'm going to have the same problem, so this is completely pointless, but hopefully not. After the next two, we'll get a better reroll, and maybe I'll just play the top two people that we come into, and then I'll reset again, trying to get higher ranked people. But this early in the week, it's hard to find people that are really strong lining up, even without any really impactful set gear. Like when I say impactful, I mean really broken set gear, like decimeter sets. I still have a battle score of 87,000. Even though a lot of people are definitely, I don't think that anybody that I'm fighting is not equipped. I obviously have almost +9 on everything. But for somebody who has been playing since day one, I really don't think that's something you can really criticize, to be completely honest. Especially seeing as how I've been clocking over 10 hours a day since the game came out. I am addicted to this game like a drug addict. Okay. There's really no efficient way to do this. I guess I can just give away Deb to draw Kai into an Alfred into a shot for Carrot. Oh, sweet. Bearman saves the day. Alright, well, let's let Alfred put the slows down and hope we can still reach him. Carrot's not infected, so it should be pretty easy. That was a strong Alfred for some reason. Maybe I should use maybe do a video with all 4-star heroes and just having really overpowered gear on them. Maybe some thoughts on that. I might even, if I run into somebody that I know I've beaten a couple times doing this, maybe I'll throw Tao in and just try her out, because my Tao's potentials and with the few pieces of set gear that she has, her stats are pretty rocking. Oh, this person has the Kitsune Nox outfit. That's cool. Okay, now how do we want to do this? I think we want Bear God to do his normal thing. I want to stay out of the way. Let's take out Nox. Oh, this player has 2 4-star characters, so this is not really not really a fair fight, even if he was decked out with set gear. I'm gonna throw the defense debuff obviously on Jack, and that didn't work. He just straight up died. I think Bearman actually might come in here and be the hero. Can't really do anything to support with Moo. If only I had that one extra movement on Moo. If only. He's a super tank. Let's just auto this out. Oh, no chance. Man, if anything, people are just going to be like, yeah, I'm making Bearman. He is a very slow build. It's hard to build Bearman. He's got on a Girgis map, so if you're not strong enough to do it in like 2 minutes every time, it's kind of shitty already. Alright, this person's got a pimped out Chenny. Oh, this person has the Kitsune Nox, and he's got a team of 5 stars. 86,000 for both of them, 82,000 for Mac. Alright, well, let's see, 17, where are we at? right, 1776. I'm gonna check out Wisps and HJ, and we're just gonna. These might be our first close fights. So I just want to kind of see their teams and just check to see if they have set gear, because it'd be nice to have a good comparison to our team with good potentials and just generally efficient equipment compared to somebody who's got good sets but maybe doesn't have things done. So Wisps, that's one of the guys, I'm pretty sure. 1776. Yep. Alright, so let's check Wisps out before we fight him. It's currently rank 58, not that it matters at this point in time in the week. Okay, so he has a very strong Jack. Alright, so he's got an aggro set, a Pink Ranger set, and one piece of a set that he can't really do anything with. So this is, the Pink Ranger set is not good unless you have all three pieces. It's actually really bad. To be completely honest, because there is the Beast Rain set, the Pink Ranger set is actually kind of a PvE set in my mind instead of a PvE set. Unless you plan on running around the map and kiting around for 30 turns and then going to attack them, I don't really see this set being broken in PvE. Ooh, maxed out Chenny. Let's see this. Okay, oh, he does have a Beast Rain set on Chenny, so gotta watch out for that. No other impactful sets, or even any full. There's just one piece for two other ones. Let's look at Serendi. Oh, only one piece of Beast Rain here. One piece, and he's got the two pieces of this, but this is a bad set. When your MP falls below 40%, you either can't use good skills or the battle's been over for 2 turns. This is a great set for it's no Dacimeter set, but it's a great set. I put that again in better for PvE because it's more consistent and more reliable. Let's see what else he's got. Nothing on Deb. Okay, the Red Ranger set's absolutely terrible. So that's kind of negligible. So he's got a Beast Rain set on Chenny, so that's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. Let's see what he's using again. Chenny, Nox, Serendi, and Jack. So he's got a good formation. I think he should switch Nox and Serendi. But his Serendi's probably a lot tankier than his Nox. Nox, for the most part, actually would be the tankier of the two because of the prevalence in rock in the mid lanes right now, and in the middle. But just looking at his skills. Yeah, I'd put Nox for slot 3. Like, he is an attack type hero, which is the downside because you don't want to have a squishy slot 3. You want to have more of a balanced, strong one. So maybe Serendi is a better choice for him. Let's see the defense in this. 36%, 60,000 health. $62,020, so 46%. Alright, so actually his Nox is tankier than Serendi, so I think it probably, like, Serendi has so many amazing ops in slot. In slot. It's gonna come to me eventually. You know that place. So many amazing ops in slot 2. I'm a little bit curious as to why he maxed this, as opposed to maxing his passive first. For the most part, I would actually max the skill last, because her auto attack is going to be more useful to me if I do end up running out of mana. For this skill, I just use to completely take away confusion or charm and things like that. But anyway, we're going to go into it with this guy. Looks like it might be a little bit tough. If we get the ice map, it's not going to be very tough at all. Chenny with a Beast Rain against Bearman. I think we got a pretty good shot, because Bearman is a monster. And I think this is going to be the last video in the in this first video. I'll do a few more for tonight, just with a bunch of PvP. I'll run out of my swords in the next video, but this video has already gone on long enough. Oh, look at that bear man not getting crit like a champ. Knocks his paper, so he won't do that much. I don't want Serendi to go over there and kill my bear man. I think I'm going to bring Deb down here just to distract Serendi. I want to deal with her later. I don't want her to... Oh! No, that's actually important. Nox hits from far away. He doesn't walk up to his character. I'm going to pop a hit on Jack here to lower his defense and hopefully clean him up with Moo. I didn't check to see if his Jack was stun immune. How much defense does he have? 55% defense after I've already lowered it. That's pretty tanky. This is a very tanky Jack. I'm going to try the stun. Hopefully he doesn't have immune. Alright, sweet. Oh, and neither does Chenny. Oh, man. Small victories are the best victories. Okay, you know what? I think if Bearman can take out... No, I'm gonna have to go for the Nox here. Sweet. Now they're together. I'll run into there with Moo and clean that up. Now it's just whether I want, or you know, maybe I can clean it up with Carrot. If I clean it up with Carrot, I'm still gonna have Moo to deal with Jack if Jack heals up a little bit. Serendi's going next. Where's Serendi going? Serendi is actually... Where's Moo is for? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a bit of a tough call. Serendi is definitely going to go over to Bearman and... or, wait, no, this Serendi's only got 3 movement. That's right. No passive working right now. Which means she can't go to a spot where... I thought she was going to walk right over to Bearman and hit Bearman and Deb. But because she doesn't have the movement with her health being low, it's kind of nice. So she can only do one or the other. I think she would go to attack Bearman, and then Moo would be out of range. So I'm gonna clean up these 2 heroes with this. I probably should have left that for Bearman, to be honest. Oh, the downsides of Serendi sometimes. Kills herself. Sometimes when you're on defense, Serendi doesn't know whether or not she wants to be a support hero or an attacker. Alright, that went pretty good. Going to start off with HJ and then we'll do Mac next. Maybe if we get a 90,000 score person, I'll check their gear count. I'm not going to go through every person just to see how we're handling every single one. I think it's better to go blind into because people at the lower ranks aren't be able to... It's a lot easier to check out your opponent's team if they're in the top 100. Because you just hit ranking and scroll down, hit see more. You can see their whole party, all their gear, things like that, if you want to study up on your opponents. But I'm going to end this one here. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think for changes in the comments below or heroes you might want to see me attempt.